And spawning. In the top right-hand position on Ice and Chrome, LE in the red. Representing Team Alpha X and the US of A, it's Cuddlebear. And his opponent. In the bottom left-hand side, in the blue, our Swedish representative here in the North America Cup, of course, residing now in Canada. Currently teamless after IXG closed their doors. It is Namshar. So Cuddlebear and Namshar currently sitting at rough spots in Group A. Namshar opening with a 1-2 record, losing a very close series against Silky, losing a very close series against Neeb, and winning a very close series against Vindicta. All three of Namshar's games so far have gone to Game 3. Cuddlebear, on the other hand, losing a little bit more than Namshar has. Cuddlebear currently the only player in Group A sitting at an 0-3 record. He has taken one map off of Vindicta in what was a very close series, and then sadly dropped 0-2 to Disc and M Canning respectively. This will be the first TVZ that we get out of Cuddlebear in this tournament, so I'm going to see if maybe his prowess in this matchup can turn things around. The problem that we always have with Cuddlebear is that his arm is not great. His micro, therefore, is not going to be quite as good, and TVZ is a matchup that requires insanely strong micro. So Cuddlebear might be a bit out of his comfort zone here in the first, in his fourth series, rather, of the event. If Cuddlebear loses this one, it is very likely that he'll be unable to advance. An 0-4 record puts you at best at a 3-4 record once the event is, once the group stages are over, and that's going to be a very difficult place for Cuddlebear to return from. So we'll have to see what he can do here. If he can get himself back up to a 1-3 match score, he might be okay. Unfortunately, if he drops this one and goes 0-4, it's going to be so tough to see him come back. Cuddlebear's Reaper still poking around here out to the edge, but there's a Queen here now. He doesn't quite snipe this Creep Tumor either. Cuddlebear not accomplishing anything he really needs to accomplish. Only one Ling kill there. We'll get up and spot that third base. Does know roughly the timing of Namshar's third. A fairly early third for Namshar, by the way. And that's going to allow Cuddlebear to feel pretty safe back home to drop down that starport. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a third command center out of him maybe after this starport, but it depends on exactly how aggressive he wants to be. He's already swapped over the factory onto the reactor to go for double Hellion production here in game number 1. Reaper from Cuddle still being a little bit pernicious, still being a little bit annoying in the main base here. Driven down to the natural, the Queen out of position, but still this Reaper with only the one kill, getting driven back and not stopping any more Creep Tumors from going down. So again, Namshar's creep spread is going to be really nice. He's going to be able to branch those Creep Tumors off left and right. Quick shout out to all the boys in the chat, all the girls in the chat. It's good to see you guys here. Thanks for joining us on the C stream. Cuddle and Namshar, two really fantastic NA players. A little sad to see them solo on their group, but I'm so glad we've got a few folks here supporting them. Sivir, Warbuff, Latalaika, Pikachu 92. Guys, good to have you here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Overlord speed on the way for Namshar, as is that Baneling Nest, but here's the first real test that Cuddlebear is going to throw to Namshar. Battlecruisers on the way from our American Terran player. No additional infrastructure. You know, I had guessed that maybe Cuddlebear was going to go for a third base early with the way his gases had timed out, but that's not going to be the case. Cuddlebear is going to get spotted, does put on a fake cloak for his Banshees, but of course the Overseer from Namshar spots that fusion core right away, and now of course the cloak is going to get canceled, and immediately Battlecruiser number 1 coming down, but Cuddlebear totally 110% ready for this. Lair Tech on the way, Spore Crawler on the way as well. In the main, in the natural, and in the third, Cuddlebear is totally, Namshar is totally ready for this. Now, Cuddlebear's going to try and make his way in here. There are no Banes up just yet, so these Hellions might actually have a chance to get a little bit of damage done. Oh, man. Namshar forced to cancel those Banes, but unfortunately, Cuddlebear with the worst movement patterns possible. These Queens from Namshar driving those away, and already 4-3 Hellions going down, and the rest of the Hellions badly battered and bruised going back home. One of these Hellions with 1 health left. My God. Just a few Queen shots away from certain death, but now comes the real trial. The battlecruiser is imminent as more factories go down. Cuddlebear looks like he's going mech in this matchup. Battlecruiser into mech, a very popular choice for Terran players right now. The Roach Warren finishing up for Namshar. He's already got that lair tech down, so Roach speed could be coming quite quickly. Roaches may seem like an unorthodox choice. You'd be like, wait a minute, he already has the lair tech, right? Why doesn't he just go for Hydras or something? The answer is he's already got a bunch of free Hydras in his main, Queens, with Transfuse. They're going to be able to drive that battlecruiser back. The battlecruiser without a single kill. The Queen's rotating around, and man, that is absolutely nothing. Let's see if the Hellions can get any work done here. A couple of Lings are going to get roasty toasted. The Hellions going to move on in here. This could be Cuddlebear's chance to get into the natural mineral line. There's no pull from Namshar, but the Hellions not focus firing down the drones. They're going to evacuate over to the third base, and the drone's going to evacuate as well here. The Queen's rotating around just a little bit too slowly here, and even though Namshar's grabbing a fourth base, he's losing a great handful of drones here. 9 drones going down before the Queens jostle their way over to drive these Hellions back out. Cuddlebear finally getting a bit of damage done, and look at that, even forcing a cancel on that fourth base with the battlecruiser maintaining its position outside of the fourth. Gets a free Overlord kill for it. Suddenly, everything's coming up Cuddlebear today. Oh, he looks so good now. Namshar down to 64 drones, supply blocked, no fourth base. And the Queen's going to get pushed back here. This battlecruiser doing a great job. Third battlecruiser, by the way, on the way now for Cuddlebear as the second one sits in that main base, waiting to make its appearance across the map. 5 kills, but remember, 5 kills in addition to this hatchery cancel. If he can force a second hatchery cancel here out of Namshar, that would be a game-winning play from Cuddlebear. Keeping a Zerg player on 3 bases is so frustrating to deal with. Oh, and he does it again. The fourth base forced to replant here from Namshar. Cuddlebear really flexing his guns here a little bit. The Roaches are now out. The Roaches should be able to drive those Hellions away now that Roach speed has finished. But here is the real problem. The Spire has been spotted, but Cuddlebear's not sure if he's going to come up against Corruptors or against Mutalisks. Now, most scared Zerg players would go immediately for Corruptors, right? You want to get a lot of damage out to drive those battlecruisers away. He's only seen one of them so far, but there is a second and a third waiting for Cuddles. He has seen that the Yamato Cannon is, or has not yet seen the Yamato Cannon on the way, rather. We'll see that. Of course, Yamato Cannon makes itself well known. Check it out, guys, if you haven't seen this. We'll follow this battlecruiser. Tell me if you can see on the battlecruiser model when Yamato Cannon finishes here in 3, 2, 1, Yamato. You notice they get that stripy, flashy pattern there. That's a dead giveaway that those battlecruisers are ready with that giant Yamato Cannon to explode their power all over the face of the Zerg players. But the Mutalisks from Namshar now ready to roll, going into the main base, and these are completely unexpected. Again, most Terran players would have expected Corruptors right now. That is going to bring the battlecruisers back. The Mutalisks should have limited damage, especially against these Cyclones, but oh my god, Namshar's actually just going to go ahead and attack here. Getting on top of Cyclone 1, Cyclone 2, Cyclone 3 going to go down. A lot of Cyclones getting disappeared here, and now the battlecruiser is forced to come on back for Cuddlebear. Cuddlebear, by the way, only has 2 battlecruisers. Did lose 1 cruiser earlier that we didn't catch, instead of the 3 that I expected, trying desperately to get this missile turret down in the natural, but it's not going to happen. The Hellions desperately trying to distract some of the fire from the Mutalisks. Remember, Mutalisks fire a Glaive Worm, which bounces to 3 total targets. So Mutalisk damage seems very low, but there is a dissipating bounce from the initial target to a second target and a third target. So it's actually really smart for Cuddlebear to drive those Hellions in to soak up some of those damage from the bouncing Glaive Worms of the Mutalisk. Nicely done, though. 20 SCVs going down, and now Namshar in complete economic command of this game. Look at that. The income advantage finally swinging in favor of our blue Zerg player. He did lose an awful lot of mutas, right? 6 of them going down in that attack. So the current count is 16 mutas instead of 22. Could be a fair few more, but 16 is still a scary number. I doubt we'll see too many more mutas getting added on because, of course, Cuddlebear already has those missile turrets down. But man, Namshar just doing an incredible job here, bouncing in, bouncing right back out, and deciding, wait a minute, I don't have to bounce back out. I can pick off some more Cyclones here. 1, 2, 3 Cyclones absolutely disappearing. And we're going to see Cuddlebear jumping, Namshar jumping on top of another missile turret here. Cuddlebear poised with these SCVs to repair the missile turret in the main mineral, or the natural mineral line, but this poor extra command center is going to go down. Battlecruisers farm Cuddlebear, meanwhile, coming around the top side. These have not teleported. They worked their way around the north side of the map into the 4th base of Namshar, so they do have their teleport available, which means they can Yamato and GT heck out of there. They're going to be just fine. Taking out a few Mutalisks here and there, really wreaking havoc in the bases of Namshar. 19, 20 SCVs still going down, though these Mutalisks have no response on the other side of the map, and they could really do whatever they want. A little surprised, actually, to see Namshar moving all the way back home with them. He should go right back out. Now the battlecruiser is teleported away. He's going to go back to the main base of Cuddlebear. He's going to go back. He's going to go back, there it is, back to the main base of Cuddlebear and get some damage done. As we said, those battlecruisers very low on health, not a lot, but finally, Cuddlebear realizing that the Mutalisks are a threat, and we see his factories finally pumping out anti-Mutalisk units. We see the Thors coming down and those Widow Mines coming down as well. Drilling Claws not finished, nor is Smart Servos, so unupgraded right now, besides the +1/+1 upgrades. No Smart Servos. No, they have Magfield Accelerator, but no Drilling Claw for those Widow Mines. A couple of roaches going to pop in here for Namshar, but this is a very heavy metal army from Cuddlebear. Cuddlebear's going to drive him away, but the big problem of going mech, as every player knows, is that you've got a very immobile army. Look at this nimbly-bimbly movement from Namshar, by the way. Sees the lock-on from the Widow Mine, moves just out of range of it. Is going to eat a fair few shots from the Thor, but gets that main orbital command. A huge loss for Cuddlebear. One Mutalisk will go down to the Yamato Cannon, but there are still so many. It's like a terrifying Hydra, where instead of cutting off one head and getting two back, you cut off one Mutalisk and get 6 back. 8 more Mutalisks on the way now from Namshar. Is that Mutalisk count going to go all the way up to 41? No, 33. Just finished up. So 33 mutas. Holy smokes. The problem is, though, Cuddlebear's army is very anti-muted now. Lots and lots of units that really drive Mutalisks back. So even though the Mutalisk flock is very large, the Thor splash damage is going to be so deadly, as are these lock-ons from the Cyclones. The battlecruisers scrubbing in their DPS as well, which is why you see Namshar transferring. Instead of adding on more Mutalisks now, adding on a metric crap ton of Banelings. It's America. An imperial crap ton of Banelings. This is the North American tournament, we can say that. The good news for Namshar is, look at his income, look at his bank. I mean, this guy absolutely untouched, kept Cuddlebear back on a very, very few units, and now Cuddlebear doesn't have enough to leave an army at home and an army pushed out on the map. So these Mutalisks practically a distraction at this point. Again, one more nice Yamato Cannon. Gonna take that Mutalisk off, but Yamato Cannon doesn't do splash damage, and 33 mutas here have something to say about that. Meanwhile, a little Baneling roll by. Holy smokes, that's a lot of Banelings, and here we go. Not the best shots, but they're going for the probes. These are +1 Banelings. It's going to take 2 to kill the probes. The SCVs, rather. 8 SCVs going down. Not the most efficient Baneling run by, but does Namshar care about efficiency? No. Does he have more mining than Cuddlebear? Yes. Does he have a bigger bank than Cuddlebear? Yes. Am I talking like this to be very annoying and sound more intelligent than I really am? Absolutely. Battlecruiser 1 goes down, doesn't tactically jump away in time. Battlecruiser 2 tactically jumps one screen away, and the Mutalisks are like, oh, you did that? We could have just flown there, man. And they'll snag the second Battlecruiser. Cuddlebear trying to push across the map here with these Thors to get some damage done. There are no Infestors on the map. Hive Tech actually just starting up, but there are tons of Banes. Now, normally Banes are not the best answer to Thors. Those heavy metal Thors usually take about 1,001 Banes to kill, and as you can see, it took 1,001 Banes to kill that one Thor. Still 4 Thors running amok, but now Lings are out. These are +1 Lings, +2 finishing up very soon here, but if you can get up to critical mass, the Lings can surround the Thors and really drive them away. The Thor's all at half health, but really the problem lies back at Cuddlebear's natural base. He's down to 6 workers, 60 army supply, and 2 Gs in the chat. Game 1, gonna go to the Swedish Zerg player, Namshar. A beautiful play there from Namshar. Really, really good harassment with those Mutalisks, and Cuddlebear, unfortunately, unable to respond. He did transition fairly well into those Thors. It's just a little bit late, I'm afraid, and he wasn't able to make it work. Sorry, guys, I'm really zoomed in on my webcam today, so I'm trapped in a tiny box. But that's because I'm casting with Grant on the B stream, and I forgot to switch my camera settings around. So unfortunately, here on the C stream for this series, you're just going to have to see, like, the close-up, intense version of my face. And then when I switch back to the B stream with Grant, it'll seem a bit more normal-sized, I promise. So, sorry, my face is very large right now. It's very shiny, though, so you can save on your electricity bills, because there's more white light coming out of your monitor from my very pale face. Hopefully that'll, you know, save you a couple pennies in the long run, watching my stream. Oh, I just got invited to a match, and then Namshar immediately left the match. I'm a little offended. As soon as I got in the lobby, he was like, I'm out of here. We're done. Looks like map number 2 is going to be on... Oh, come on, fellas. Interesting that we saw Ice and Chrome on map 1. It's probably our, it's the second tier of maps that we see in this tournament. So, obviously, Everdream, Eternal Empire, Death Aura, our top 4. And then Pillars of Gold and Ice and Chrome in that sort of second tier of maps that our top 3. Pillars of Gold and Ice and Chrome in that like second tier that we don't see quite as often. And then the last 2 maps in the pool, Golden Wall and Submarine, they just simply get vetoed out every time. So we've seen very, very few games on Submarine and Ice and Chrome, or Submarine and Golden Wall here in DreamHack EU. Grant was saying earlier today that he's kind of ready for the map pool to get updated, and I kind of agree with him. I have just, at this point, I've seen so many thousands of games on Everdream, Eternal Empire, and Death Aura that I'm definitely ready for something new, something exciting. One of the things that makes StarCraft such a long-lived game is that the map pool is broad, diverse, and a little bit different, forcing the players to really retain their mastery of the mechanics, not just a mastery of map positioning over time. Guys, let's hop on in to our second game here on Everdream LE. And we're live. Spawning in that top right-hand side in the blue, representing Sweden, currently teamless. It is our third player. His name, Namshar. And his opponent, in the bottom left-hand side in the red, from Team Alpha X and the US of A, it's Cuddlebear. Oh, Cuddles, I feel, oh, I'm a little worried for him. You know, he's going to try and get this double proxy racks out. Now, Namshar has not spotted, and his Overlord's checking all the usual places for really aggressive dual proxy racks. This back corner is popular for dual proxy racks. I see a couple here and here are dual proxy racks locations. Oh my god, it's not. It's a triple proxy barracks. Are you kidding me? This is insanity. Absolute insanity. Triple proxy racks coming out. No gases for Cuddlebear. It's going to be all Marines all the time. So what Cuddlebear wants to do is crank out an Imperial crap ton of Marines. He wants to get them across the map, drop a couple bunkers just before this natural finishes and the creep spreads, and then push, push, push like that one bad guy from the Twilight Zone episode. A Day in Weatherby? A Day in... which one was it? Anyway, 6 Lings already out though for Namshar, and he should see these SCVs and know exactly what's coming. Those Lings gonna turn on a dime and go back. Now, these Lings are in a really interesting position. He's gonna pick off reinforcements one by one. This is optimal for Namshar. If he can prevent a critical mass of those Marines from arriving, he's gonna do a really nice job. So he's gonna see this proxy blacks on the low ground, and he knows that there's more than this, right? He's seen the 2 SCVs coming across, so he knows it's at least double SCV. 1 bunker going down, but if the SCV gets popped off, is 1 SCV already gone down? Oh no. Cuddlebear already losing 1 SCV, second SCV driven away from this bunker, and the bunker not gonna finish here, I don't think. A couple Marines coming in, but 1 Queen can take out a couple Marines here. It's gonna be really close, gonna be really close, gonna be really close. Reinforcing Marines getting picked off from Cuddlebear there. He'll never get up to a massive number. Drone pull from Namshar just to make sure this bunker doesn't get up. That's so paramount right now for success for Namshar. But the bunker goes down. The Lings are here to drive these Marines away. And look at the units lost tab. 4 Lings for 6 Marines and 2 SCVs. I mean, this is about as failed as a triple proxy racks could possibly be. We see 3 Marines on the map right now, and Namshar just doing a beautiful job. There's no expansion back home, of course, for Cuddlebear. He's working on another supply depot to finish his wall off so the Lings can't get in, but really it doesn't matter. Finally, 4 Marines here, but there's no additional damage. The Naturals finished. There are 3 Queens out now for Namshar. He has driven this bad boy away, and Cuddlebear looking very much like he's going to fall to an 0-4-1-8 record here in DreamHack Fall 2020. For the North American region, Cuddlebear will lift that wall, but the Ling's going to force these SCVs off the line to repair, and Cuddlebear knows he can't do it. Double G, ladies and gentlemen, Namshar.